Welcome to the D2L Setup Basics video created by the MCTC Center for Teaching and Learning. As we prepare our courses for next semester, you might be interested in setting up your D2L announcements, gradebook, and assignments. There are many other tools available on D2L, but this particular video will focus on just the basics. A quick snapshot of D2L usage data provided by our Information Technology Service. It appears that approximately 46% of courses have at least one announcement item, and 33% of courses have at least one gradebook item. As we focus on key elements for course success for our students, we all know that a solid start is important. And this includes having announcements and gradebook items ready to go the first day so students have clear expectations and communications from the instructor. So let's get started. So let's start by going to your course in D2L. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and use the D2L practice course, and you'll notice that nothing has been set up yet. So we'll start by creating an announcement, and there's a hyperlink in the middle of the page that says create an announcement. So we're going to click here. We'll start by typing in the headline. So welcome to the D2L practice course. And a helpful tip in creating your content is to go ahead and prepare it ahead of time with some type of word processing software like Microsoft Word. So I went ahead and drafted what I want to insert into my content. So I'm going to copy that and paste it into D2L. Now the font size is just a tad small, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight all of that content, and right here near the middle of the screen you'll see the option for size. So I'm going to expand that option and select number 3, which is a 12-point font, so that makes it a little bit easier for everyone to read. Another technique that I like to use is to insert some type of an image or a photo. This helps students recognize right away when new content has been added because they'll see a different image appearing on the announcement screen. So in order to do that, I'm going to select this picture, which is the Insert Image option, and I'm going to tap here, and then we'll upload an image. So I'm going to go ahead and use this welcome image, and click Open. And once it's been uploaded, I'm going to go ahead and select Add. A helpful tip here is to go ahead and write in the alternative text for the image. This improves accessibility by describing what the image looks like for those who are unable to visibly see the image. So I'm going to go ahead and type in photo welcome. Click OK. And then once you do so, the image is going to appear within that content. Now this is a really large image, so I can go ahead and drag the corner and adjust the size of the image to whatever I would like to help fit the screen a little bit better. So this looks pretty good. The other thing I would notice right here where it says hi and then first name in curly Q brackets. This is a technique called replacement strings, and replacement strings allow us to help personalize a D2L announcement by having the computer automatically insert the person's first name in place of that replacement string. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this here, but when we publish this announcement, you'll see that the first name, the word first name, curly Q brackets, will be replaced by the person's actual first name logging into D2L. We'll scroll down here where it says availability. You can check or uncheck the start date of your announcement. Since this is the first announcement for this course, I'm going to go ahead and uncheck it because the students don't need to know that I did this a couple months ahead of time. But you're welcome to leave it checked if you want the students to know what date you posted that announcement. Last but not least, scroll down here to the bottom where it says publish, and your announcement will be published. So when we go back to the main course page on D2L, you'll notice that the announcement now appears here to welcome the students to the course. And here where there used to be the replacement string, you'll note that it's been replaced by my name. So anyone who logs on to this course will see their name inserted here where the replacement string used to be. So that's a really useful technique to help personalize your announcement and to welcome students to your course. Now we're going to set up the D2L Gradebook, which is a very helpful tool that allows students to check their grades at any time during the day since D2L is available 24/7. It also is very convenient for us as instructors because we're able to export these grades from D2L directly into the ISRS system for posting of official grades. So we'll get started here on setting up the Gradebook by going up here to the Assessments menu, expanding the drop-down, and then selecting Grades. Now the first time you select grades, D2L will automatically bring you to the setup wizard, which I think is a really easy way to set up your gradebook. So we'll scroll down here to the bottom and select Start. There are 7 steps to the setup wizard. Step number 1 is choosing the grading system. You have the option of a weighted grade, using percentage of the value of the assignment, or how much it's worth in the total grade. You also have the option of doing points or a formula. Points is the easiest, and this is the default, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it here and continue. Step number 2 allows you to select how you want the final grade released. You can either select the calculated final grade option, which allows D2L to automatically calculate the final grade, or you can select the adjusted final grade option, which allows you to modify or adjust the grades before D2L will release them. I'm going to go ahead and select calculated final grade and then select continue. For step number 3, you have a couple of options for grade calculations. For ungraded items, you can either treat them as dropped, or treat them as 0. Now, if you treat ungraded items as 0, that means students will start off the semester with a 0 grade in every single assignment, or an F in every single assignment. And I would prefer to have students just start off with a clean slate, so I'm going to go ahead and keep the default, which is drop ungraded items. You also have the option to select the auto update, which will allow D2L to automatically keep the final grade updated. So I'm going to go ahead and check that and select continue. For step number 4, you have the option of choosing the default grade scheme, either percentages or A through F. I've tried both ways, and it seems that the students tend to prefer A through F, as it's easier for them to quickly see how they're doing in the course or in the assignment. But totally up to you, whatever your preference might be. I'm going to go ahead and check my preference and select continue. Step number 5 allows you to manage the view display options, or in this case, the number of decimal places to display. The default is 2 decimal places, which is just fine, so I'm going to go ahead and click continue. And that takes me to step number 6. Step number 6 allows you to adjust the student view display options. The default is to go ahead and show the points grade, so students know how many points they have earned either in that assignment or in the class. The next option is grade scheme symbol. So this will display whether the student has an A, B, C, D, or an F. And then the other option is the grade scheme color. This is really helpful if you want to see in a snapshot how your class is doing, or for students to see how they are doing across the different assignments in the course. For example, a grade of A is depicted with a color of green, whereas a grade of F is depicted with the color red. Once again, this shows how many decimal places to display. And then here you have the option of picking the number of characters to display for text items, which is for the description of the various assignments you want to include in the D2L gradebook. If you have a lot of assignments, you may want to reduce this number to maybe 10 or 8 characters so that you can see more assignments across your screen in the gradebook. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it at the default, which is 15 characters. Here on the bottom, you have the option to select whether you want the final grade calculation to be displayed to your students, to your users. I'm going to go ahead and check here and then select continue. So step number 7 is the grade setup summary. So this shows you a summary of all of the options that we have selected. Scroll down to the bottom and select finish. Now that we've set up the D2L gradebook, you have the option of setting up grade categories and items. Grade categories will allow you to set up major categories or types of assignments or grades, and then the individual grade items will fall below that. So let me give you an example of one, just so you can see how this works. So I'm going to click here where it says create a new grade category, and I'm going to call this one homework. And you have the option, if you scroll down here, to distribute points across all items. For example, if I have 10 homework assignments and I know that they're each going to be worth 10 points, then I could go ahead and check this box, and this saves me from having to manually enter 10 points every time I create a new assignment item in the gradebook. So we're going to go ahead and hit save and close here on the bottom, and you'll see now that a homework category has appeared in the D2L gradebook. So now that we have the category, I'm going to go back up here to the top where it says new, and I'm going to select a new item to put underneath that category. Since we're using points grade, I'm going to go ahead and use numeric, and I'm going to call this one homework assignment number 1. Okay, and since we want this to appear in the homework category, I'm going to go down here and select category homework. And as you can see here, the points automatically show up as 10 points because I had previously selected it to distribute across all items to be worth 10 points. Scroll down here and you have the option of selecting lots of different things. I'm going to go ahead and keep it simple and go ahead and save and close. So as you can see here now, the homework category is listed here, and the specific homework item for the gradebook is listed here. Now that we've set up the D2L gradebook, our next step is going to be to set up an assignment folder. This allows students to electronically submit their assignments in D2L, and it's also helpful for us as faculty so that we don't have to keep track of individual pieces of paper. All of our student assignments are saved safely here in D2L for us to access and grade later on. So we're going to go up here to the Assessments menu and expand the drop-down and select Assignments. Now, in order to create an assignment submission folder, we'll go ahead and start by selecting New Submission Folder. And I'm going to go ahead and call this assignment Homework Assignment Number 1. And a helpful thing, since we've already set up the D2L gradebook, is that we can associate this homework assignment with the gradebook item. So I'm going to click here where it says Grade Item and select Homework Number 1. And now this assignment folder is linked to the gradebook, so when you submit the grade on D2L, it'll automatically be sent to the D2L gradebook as well. As we recall, this homework assignment was worth 10 points, so I'm going to go ahead and enter 10 there. And as we scroll down, you have the option of entering instructions here for what you'd like the students to do to complete that assignment. Once again, I find it helpful to go ahead and draft those instructions first in Microsoft Word or some other word processing software. So I'm going to go ahead and click and copy my instructions and then paste it here so it appears on the instructions here on the D2L assignments. I'm going to scroll back up to the top, and we're going to expand the Restrictions tab, which allows me to set deadlines or entry restrictions for submission. The availability for this assignment submission folder has a couple of different options. You can set the start date, and this is a helpful option if you want to have the assignment folder only available for a certain period of time in the semester. There's also a due date and an end date. The difference between due date and end date is that due date allows students to see when the assignment is due, but it doesn't actually close the assignment folder. This option is helpful if you want to allow students to submit assignments late. D2L will keep track, and you'll get a notification in the assignment folder indicating how many hours or days the assignment was submitted late by the student. So this can be helpful. The end date option is a hard end date. So if you want the assignment due date to be a hard end date and for D2L to not allow students to submit any late assignments, this is the option that you would choose. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and select the end date. So this will close the drop box or the assignment box on that date and prevent students from submitting an assignment after that date. And I'm going to go ahead and pick the 17th of January. In terms of the due time, you can set that time whatever time you would like. I've found that students tend to prefer 11:59 p.m. because that's an easy time to remember and maximizes the time available for students to complete that assignment on the due date. Another option is to make that end date time due just before the start time of your class. So entirely up to you. I'm going to go ahead and use 11:59 p.m. for this demonstration. We'll scroll down here to save and close. And you'll notice now that there is an assignment folder that shows up called Homework Assignment Number 1. And over here on the right hand side shows the due date and time that I previously entered in the Restrictions tab. So let's go ahead and go back to the main course homepage so I can show you one more thing regarding this assignment folder. You'll notice here on the right hand side on D2L under Calendar that the assignment folder now appears on the D2L Calendar option. So you'll notice that the description here is Homework Assignment Number 1, once again due on this particular date at 11:59 p.m. So a very helpful tool to use the assignment folder so that you can keep track of all your students' assignments electronically, and also give students a visibility on when assignments are coming due over here on the right hand side under the calendar option. If you have additional questions about setting up D2L announcements, gradebook, or assignment submission folders, or if you'd like to learn more about using the other tools available on D2L, please contact us at drl@minneapolis.edu. Thanks for watching.